Who is Cat? What is Cat? Why is Cat? When you bring an icon like Garfield to life, there's a physicality and curiosity and playfulness, a mischief at his core. I lost myself in that.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man. I wasn't thinking about it.
Well, we've come a long way since this, haven't we?
I can see my house.
Got milk?
Fuck you!
I'm gonna be upfront with you guys. I had no interest in going to see this movie, save for one reason. And that reason was the person directing this movie, Mark Dendel. In the same vein as Don Bluth, this guy has had a pretty rocky career in animation. He's made two incredible, funny, and well-animated movies in Cats Don't Dance and The Emperor's New Groove, which the latter of those two being objectively the funniest Disney movie in history. But at the same time, he also made Chicken Little, which is objectively the worst Disney movie of all time. Now, to be fair, Chicken Little had a pretty infamous production, and Mark honestly had little control over it in the end. There's a great video from Barry Entertainment that talks all about that if you want to know more about it. Mark was also going to direct this movie at DreamWorks that would have incorporated both 2D and 3D animation. It was this little project, you've probably never heard of it, titled Me and My Shadow, and judging from the sequences that were leaked on the internet, it looked like it had potential. But DreamWorks canceled it for whatever dumb reason, and Mark has just kinda been in limbo until now. Like I said, it's been a rocky road for him, which is sad because he clearly knows how to make a fast-paced, entertaining comedy in the same vein as Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes. So to see him finally return to the director's chair after all these years, even if it is for the Garfield movie, I'll admit it piqued my interest. So I bought a ticket, and wouldn't you believe it, it was fine. It's fine. It's perfectly fine. I'm honestly struggling to think of things to talk about because it is one of the most fine movies I've seen in a while. Seriously, I've been seeing people call this movie an atrocity and one of the worst movies they've ever seen. Are you guys okay? Are you sure you didn't go see this Garfield by accident?
Got milk?
Oh, brother!
That movie was a death to cinema. This is a safe, inoffensive movie that's mainly for little kids. Seriously, I can't think of anything that people over the age of 9 will get out of this movie, save for the animation and maybe the score. Yeah, the score is actually great in this movie, who'da thunk it. You can really tell this is a Mark Dendel movie simply from the animation. It honestly makes me wish there was no voice acting at all, and it was just the animation telling the story and jokes. There's a lot of great visual gags and attention to detail that really shows that after all these years, Mark still has a talent for fast, zany animation. But yeah, this movie has voice acting, and there's just this one big-ass Chris Pratt elephant in the room. Remember when everyone was freaking out over Chris Pratt voicing Mario, and then he ended up being alright in the role? Like, he worked out as Mario. He might not have been the best choice, but it was okay. You got used to it over time. This is a perfect example of how celebrity casting over a voice acting veteran only hurts the movie in the end. Chris does not fit this character at all. He's not that funny in the role, he doesn't do a voice at all. Like, with Mario, he kinda disguised it with a bit of a Brooklyn accent, but at least he tried with something. This is just his voice, and it sticks out like an iceberg in the ocean. It's not like he gives a bad performance or anything, but this was clearly not the right casting choice at all. You guys seriously couldn't bring back Frank Welker, who's been doing the voice of Garfield for over a decade now? What kind of black magic did Chris Pratt do to get major roles in animated movies that he has no business being in anyway? The Lego Movie being the only exception because that movie was amazing. Everyone else in this movie is fine, but if I'm gonna be honest, I feel like Samuel L. Jackson wasn't that great either. Again, not a bad performance, just not proper casting. The dad's supposed to be a lazy, go-with-the-flow kind of guy. Is Samuel L. Jackson really who you think of when you need an actor like that? If you ask me, and this would have made for a great meta-joke / comeback, they should have gotten Bill Murray to play the dad. I mean, just think about it. How perfect would that have been? To have the guy who played Garfield in the past, and was really good casting actually, who regretted ever working on that film, make a major comeback as Garfield's dad. It would have been a match made in heaven on a Tuesday. I mean, come on. They also got the Arby's guy to voice this bull named Otto. that's just peak casting. I can't complain. They also got Burrito to voice Odie in this movie, which is pretty cool. If we could just have Harvey Guillen play the runt or dog in every animated movie now, I would be so happy. Jeff Foxworthy has a cameo as a bird in this movie. It's very random, and I didn't even recognize him at all. Which I guess means he gave a better voice performance than Chris Pratt did. Seriously, how did that happen?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
The rest of the movie is just very standard. The relationship drama between Garfield and his dad is very standard. The plot to steal this milk truck for the villain is very standard. Everything from a writing standpoint is just so standard. Like, while the animation is on par with some of Mark's previous works, the writing sadly isn't. Cats Don't Dance and The Emperor's New Groove had a sharp wit and fantastic writing. A lot of the best moments from The Emperor's New Groove wasn't from the slapstick and screwball comedy, it was from the dialogue and the chemistry between the characters. There's a reason why it's been quoted so much over the years, because it's just that funny. Now, that's not to say there's no good jokes here. I laughed a few times. There were some inventive visual gags, like with this minion who has all these folds on his body. They do some funny stuff with that. But again, I'm honestly struggling to think of things to talk about with this movie. It's fine. It may not be the next Emperor's New Groove, but I'm sure kids will like it fine. It is not a terrible movie. It did not make me lose my faith in humanity or anything. If this is the worst movie you people have ever seen, I beg you to go out and watch more movies. At this point, I'm pretty sure these people are just clickbaiting. Bait used to be believable, my god. I guess I can call it the best Garfield movie out there, although that's not saying a lot. I also haven't watched any of those direct-to-video movies because I don't care to. I doubt I'll even remember this movie after this review is out. It's just one of those movies that goes in one ear and out the other for me. It's harmless, but nothing special in the slightest. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go make myself some lasagna and just watch The Emperor's New Groove again. As we all should.
In the still of the night, gazing up at the sky, when the stars began to fade, dimming lanterns in our eyes.